AGI has hinted in the past, or more than hinted, even stated that you're interested in opening a second property, and one of your industry peers in Bloomsbury has opened a second property now in Solaire Resort North, as well as their Solaire Entertainment City property. Could you tell us a little bit about your plans for future expansion and what other properties you might open in the Philippines?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest advantages as well for our company is that because we are sister companies with Mega World, we pretty much already have the land bank. Mega World, again, as I mentioned, is present in over 32 locations all over the country, officially. But a lot of those locations are actually tourism areas. For example, Boracay, Cebu, Palawan, Batangas, and even all the way up north, we have a property as well. So we are well situated in high traffic tourist areas, or tourist destinations in the Philippines, and that gives us tremendous opportunity to expand wherever we feel the market would need us. No, we're very excited about Boracay. In fact, that's probably the next resort that we will be opening. We have already planned. We are already in the planning stages of that, and we are about to start. It's not going to be a massive property. I think it's just right for the market there. But it's situated in our flagship township, which is called Boracay Newcoast. And Boracay Newcoast is actually 140 hectares. It's the only resort that has a golf course in the island. It comprises actually 10% of the entire Boracay Island already. We have our own private beach there. We have over 1,500 room keys there as well, currently. We continue to build there, and so that's probably sort of our next location. We're very excited about that. But I think that the opportunity for growth in this sector will be to open outside Metro Manila. I think Metro Manila is quite saturated already, and it's quite competitive. I think even Clark is very competitive. But to go beyond that, to build facilities and to build infrastructure in new areas, to prime new areas, I think that's where the opportunity is. And the Philippines has a lot of beautiful tourist destinations that can be developed, that are waiting for developments or been waiting for investments like this. And so I think an integrated resort that brings in hotel rooms, amenities, world-class amenities, and that can help develop the local economies, I think that will be a very, very good thing to have. And so that's where we think the opportunity is.
So you've mentioned about Newport's second property probably being in Boracay. And Boracay is obviously incredibly famous, perhaps the most famous tourist destination in the Philippines. 1,500 room keys you've mentioned. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, do you have any idea of when it might open? A little bit more about what facilities would be there? Presumably, I assume it will have gaming and slot machines and tables. Can you just expand a little bit more on what's going to be there?
We're not building a large-scale integrated resort. We're building a relatively medium-scale one, a boutique one, if you want to call it that. It's a very sustainable design, nothing too massive or too grand, because we are very cognizant of the fact that the island, we want to preserve the pristine, how the island is so pristine right now. We want to preserve that. So we're not building anything too crazy. So it will be a freestanding resort with a few villas around it. But we already have 1,500 room keys built in the township. So this concept will be a little bit more of a sprawling concept. And again, very different and very interesting, very different from what you see in the market today.
Interesting things that's happening right now in the Philippines is the privatization that PAGCOR is going through. And we at IAG have been reporting a lot on that. We've talked to Chairman Tenko quite a lot about that. Would AGI or would travelers, would your companies be interested in acquiring any of the properties that PAGCOR ultimately will be selling through this process?
Well, first and foremost, I think that Chairman Tenko's direction of privatizing the PAGCOR owned properties is really the right move, and it's an initiative that's been talked about so many times from different administrations, but it's only really this administration that's really taking this very, very seriously, and it's really making the right moves to be able to create the right sort of atmosphere for or environment for this to happen. To answer your question, absolutely, we are very interested to look at some of the properties. In fact, we have already started groundwork in just studying, some of the properties, especially the ones that are located where our townships are. And these are all mostly outside Metro Manila. Definitely we see a lot of potential in the PAGCOR properties. But more importantly, we also see potential in the region where they're located at. So definitely we will be probably one of the first to show serious interest in this endeavor, and we are starting to look at it as we speak.